What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Got a special client interview today with my guy, Chris. Chris has been in the program here for a little bit now, and I'm excited to dive in, but Chris won't steal your thunder. Why don't you go ahead, introduce yourself, and we'll go from there.
What's going on? I'm Chris. I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. I've been working with Nick and the team 6 months now, and yeah, I'm a soccer coach. Excited to share some sauce for sure.
Sweet. Well, I appreciate you jumping on, dude. Why don't we go ahead and start at the beginning? Maybe give us a little bit of background on who you are and where you were at before diving into the program.
Yeah, so I finished playing 4 years D1 soccer. Um, it was the start of this year, I guess. I was going on some pro trials for soccer. Had some injuries come up, excuses, whatever, didn't get a sign a contract. So yeah, it was about March, and I was like, all right, well, I got to figure something out because while I heal and rehab, I don't have a 9 to 5. I don't have a great safe option. So what am I gonna do? And I had this idea of online coaching, something that would actually set me free from like the in-person side. For me, I wasn't doing like a crazy amount of in-person sessions. I probably had like one or two that I would consistently do every few weeks while I was in season. But for me, honestly, like the reason that I wanted to find something online was because my idea was to either be playing professional or whatever it was and not have to go to the field in 90-degree heat and actually get more of a workout there running around with kids than I would be playing because it's tough. So yeah, that's where I came from. Um, and yeah, obviously these this past years it's different being out of college and not having uh, a sport to show up to every day. It's pretty uncomfortable, but this new like game of like the online coaching business has been unreal for me. So I'm very grateful for everything so far.
Sick, sick. Well, dude, maybe let's kind of dive into what made you want to join the program. Like before jumping into the program, had you been following me for a while, or were you like, I just saw this dude's ad and pulled the trigger like the next day?
Yeah, I started seeing the Instagram ads that I feel like a lot of people fall into the cycle of seeing they're everywhere once you click one. And actually I had like a call in December, I think it was, while I was still in school and still uncertain. And I was on the call and I was like, look, I don't even know what I'm able to commit to because I'm still trying to play soccer or whatever. So um that was cool. That was with Kyle and he kind of gave me some advice and sent me on my way. He was like, let me know. And then, as soon as like my soccer ended and I was going to actually commit to something, yeah, that's when I started seeing the ads came back, started clicking on them more. And yeah, no, I mean, it was interesting to me because I felt pretty isolated with this idea of being an online soccer coach. Like it's something that, I mean, even to this day, people are still gonna be like, "What are you talking about? Like online soccer coach?" But seeing an ad for like, "Look, this is actually what you can do." I coached athletes online, so did everyone else in this program. That was, I was obviously caught my eye because I was like, "Okay, this is actually a real thing."
Yeah, sick. Was there like a little bit of skepticism about maybe the model or even me or the claims that I was making?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like, I was definitely very skeptical, I mean, to anyone online, just like my athletes are with me. Um, and honestly, like, I was probably more, I mean, I don't know what the scale is, but I was probably more on the skeptic side than the average just because I had this idea that like again, like this idea, like it's my thing. Like no one else really knows what I'm doing. Like no one knows what a online soccer coach would do. to be fair, I didn't know what I was doing at that point anyways, so it wasn't really my my place to say, but yeah, I was 100% like, what are these guys doing?
Yeah. Well, what made you want to pull the trigger despite the fact that maybe you're a little bit skeptical?
Yeah, I mean, I uh I sold myself on this. I was watching I love talking about this because I'll always be an advocate for investing in yourself. But Hormazi, obviously a lot of people in his program follow him and everything, but he was talking about this idea that my like traditional like be safe with money everything. So I would definitely have disagreed with in the past, but he was like in the end like you investing your 500, $600 a month into like an S&P would cool, it would get you like 45, $60 at the end of the year after all of that. But if you just invested that into something that would accelerate you to get to the point where that number amount wouldn't even matter, like that daily, thing you're putting away, um, that's going to speed along the process. And for me and my ambition was like, I know when I get to a certain point, like that $500 investment a month won't like I'll cover all of that, like easily. So it's like I just have to get to that point as fast as possible. And that's what encouraged me. I heard that and like the day of I bought like it was like $100 a month like general entrepreneur mastermind, which I canceled it like the next day just because it was very it was very broad. It was like ran through like a Facebook group almost, um, which it was just weird. Because yeah, again, it was like teaching how to build it with like an AI tool with like you start with your dream and then you go through these steps. And I was like, this AI, it was like an AI robot girl. She has no idea what I'm actually doing. So, um, so yeah, moved on from that, and then again, I was like, I've already talked to these guys before and they're still popping up, and saw like the YouTube stuff and scrolled through the content. I was like, okay, well, this dude probably knows a little bit more about me than just an AI that's helping everyone's business. He actually is helping what I'm trying to do. So that was me. And it was my commitment as well. I was like, what a great place to start by forcing myself to commit to something, like time wise and financial wise into a program to do it.
Yeah, 100%. Because a lot of people, say that they want to go online, but like how committed do you think those people actually are if they never actually like take the time or like put their money where their mouth is?
It's true. It's true.
For sure. So, okay. You give some random stranger money on the internet, you join into the program. Maybe walk me through like what the actual program is like in your experience in like let's say the first 30, 60 days.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I hopped in and pretty much like I had like the onboarding call and um obviously like my first few conversations with again people who have already been exactly where I wanted to go, which was cool and it was motivating, and hopped in the program. And like I do remember like a pretty cool memory, like I'll show off for you because it's real, but hopped in and saw like the just like the some like the wins tab, and like right away I'm seeing numbers from again from a guy who I'm still like still a skepticism if it's even something I is real for me, online coaching. Um, so seeing some of that was pretty cool as soon as I hopped in. And then like the course itself was probably like my fastest like growth I had just those first like few weeks. Like literally from the first 2 weeks, pretty much everything that I thought I was supposed to do, the program just showed how much I'm wasting my time. And I switched to that and I was like, okay, fair enough, because that was where I accelerated the most. Um, and yeah, that helped a lot. And then like all of a sudden within like I mean, I would say again, it was 2 or 3 weeks, I had an actual plan and something that wasn't just pure out of like motivation, like I'm gonna figure something out. It was like, okay, this is actually what is possible, and what's possible is pretty cool. But I had it out in front of me and had it set, and then it was straight into like actually growing and building mine, and then also like the marketing itself, like that another example. Pretty quickly learned how my philosophy was just gonna run me. I mean, I'd figure it out eventually, I'm sure. Whether it would have been 3 years versus in this program 2 weeks, we'll see. I want to give myself more credit than 3 years, but it was pretty good to actually just learn what was going to save me time in the end.
Yeah, 100%. I had a mentor one time tell me that you can either pay with time or you can pay with money, but time at the end of the day is the most valuable resource we have because when's the last time you found 5 minutes on the ground? Right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so you jump into the program, you realize that everything you were trying to do was absolutely terrible. You realize that you just were going to save a bunch of time by having an actual plan. Um, so what would you say then? What has kind of been your experience like inside the program, like whether it be the community or the coaching or, whatever it is?
yeah, yeah. So story for that, like I went past my first, few weeks, did like the first part of like the modules and got set. And then I took that and like honestly, for the next 2 months or so, I was just gonna run with that and be like, okay, like I got it. Like I learned how to post. It says it here in the text, and I'm just gonna do it. Um, and I mean, I guess half excuse, half real, like because I was serving at a restaurant 5 days a week, like I only had so much time and I dedicated that time to just like trying to hammer out like as many hours as possible with what I learned. And then like I hopped on a call, like a check-in with Matt, and I had a bunch of questions and it was cool. And like in that whatever 45 minutes hour that we had, I finished the call and I was like, this is amazing. Like I just had all these questions and I feel like I just skipped 15 steps. This is cool. But at the end of the call, he was like, again, calling me out on what I literally just explained. I don't know if was I breaking up there? You
Yeah, a
good?
little bit.
Um, what'd you hear?
You said you got off the call with Matt. It was amazing. And then,
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. So I finished the call and it was like, cool. But he at the end of it was calling me out for again like the thing I just went into explaining about how the investment in time is more important than anything. He was like, you're working hard at this, you're posting a lot, whatever, but like we're here to help you go faster, and it wasn't like sustainable for me like to wait 2 months and then hop on a call and then figure all this stuff out and do it again. So from that point on, long story short, um, made it like a part of my calendar and committed to making sure I'm showing up to every call possible, having a question prepared, at least one question for every single call, being more active in the community. And about that time was when like I signed on my first like two full guys, two guys on like the full program, and then another like it spiraled, and obviously it wasn't like an instant thing, but when I actually took advantage of the things that I said I was going to take advantage of at the beginning, um, that was kind of the proof for me. Um, because again, like I was trying to do it myself, but I want to just win in the end. I don't need to do it myself. I'm gonna end up going the same way as I'm gonna learn it eventually, or I can just learn it now. That was the biggest thing for
yeah,
me.
sick, sick. Because I think at the end of the day, like it's so funny, like when you decide to actually commit to, the changes in the program, that seems to be when you actually get the most amount of results.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. I mean that was it. That was it for me. And it's been cool to see everyone else in like the community and in the group calls that is like are making the effort and committing to it. Everyone else kind of sharing their wins and seeing them grow as well, which is something that like the reality is not everyone's going to be able to commit to it, but because not everyone has that motivation, that commitment in the end. But that yeah, that's definitely been the turning point for me.
Yeah. So what would you say the biggest piece of value or what's the most valuable thing that you've received from joining the program?
Definitely, I mean, obviously I could list everything. Um,
You can if you want.
definitely, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a few. One of like I remember one of the first like calls I joined a while ago. It was with you. It was a sales group call. I hopped on and shared like a sales call I was having with a kid and his parent, and um I know just from the feedback I got from there, that changed like the way I look at sales completely. Like just my general oh, shoot, I keep breaking up, don't I? That changed my sales perspective and helped me from that point on. And then again, like the marketing took a jump. I had 100 followers, and I was posting like videos that I was just getting aired every single message I sent to anyone that followed me. And now I'm above 2,500 because I've learned how to run an ad, learned how to actually market, and again converted on that. But I think like honestly, like the biggest thing, as cliche as it is like being in an environment where I'm around people that are doing the same thing as me and are thinking about the same things as me. Like I love the fact that, I sound a little bit less crazy when I'm in the group calls talking about these issues or these problems I'm having or like the goals I have with online coaching for youth athletes. So that's been pretty cool to again like jump into something where I'm surrounded by people going the same direction as me. That's helped me. Like I can't really explain. Like it's helped me a ton.
Yeah. Yeah, that's honestly, I think that's probably the most important part of our entire program too. But because at the end of the day, people say like if you want to become a millionaire, hang around five of them, you'll become the sixth, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty cool that you say that. Um, Obviously, going through the program, you gotten some value out of it. What would you say is the biggest win that you've had, or like maybe like the results that you've had going through the program that you deem as a win?
Yeah. Um, it's probably pretty important to mention. Yeah, I mean, I would say the overall fact of I joined with no idea and I had zero athletes, I wasn't making any money online. And, now I've got 11 full-time athletes and I'm doing this. I was able, like, I just got surgery and obviously like a stressful time financially because I'm not able to like work. I was working part-time in a restaurant. I'm not able to do that anymore. But, because of the athletes I have, I'm calling this my full-time thing and I'm saying it with confidence now. Like this is providing for me. So that's definitely a goal that I was writing down at the beginning of this year, but wasn't fully convinced I was going to achieve it. So that's been pretty sick. Um, again, it's cool to look back and like I'm like, oh, it's so long ago, but it really wasn't. I started posting in July or maybe a little bit before that. So I'd call that a win for sure.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate it.
What would you say to somebody who's watching right now, who's maybe a little bit on the fence, super skeptical, not sure if it's going to work for them? Either the program, I mean, I don't know how you could be skeptical in the program at this point, maybe in themselves, that they're not 100% sure that they can do it. What would you say to them?
Yeah. I mean, I it's hard to see something that everyone's not already saying because like truthfully, like you do just need to take the jump. Um, I definitely get like the not being convinced you can do it like yourself. Like it's cool. Like again, you probably have a ton of these videos on your website people are seeing. So it's like cool, it works for them. And yeah, I mean, I definitely said the same thing. And then I felt pretty out of touch with the possibility of selling a program and getting 1,200 sent to my bank account. And then it happened. And then all of a sudden you want to jump on it like, okay, I knew all along, like I just had to be patient, I had to trust the process, everything. But you know, I think everyone was there at one point in the program. And, if like the truth is if you go in and you learn one thing every single day and you ask a question to the people in this community and like everybody that has already been there, if you ask one time a week, you just do that over and over, like it's unreasonable to fail in the end. And that's something that it's easy for me to say because I've actually seen the proof, but it just takes a few months. And then all of a sudden you're the one saying the same things that you heard that was so cliche, you know?
Yeah. No, I appreciate you sharing that because, at this point, dude, we got so many success stories and so much proof that obviously the program works, right? But I think the real skepticism is that people aren't 100% if it's going to work for them. How would you say that online coaching has impacted the athletes that you're working with?
Yeah. I mean, when I used to do in person, I was seeing them once a week and like I was able to train them and help them, whatever. And it was cool. But like now like I'm able to go back and forth on text with them. I'm having Zoom calls. I actually know about like their tendencies and their games and help them more than just like their technique. Um, and that's probably been the biggest thing for me and a reason that I wanted to do it is to get out of this like small picture, like drill technique, like I said, everything like that, and get into this bigger picture. Like, I'm getting texts from athletes like, dude, that little thing you talked about in our Zoom call this week, like it really helped my mentality, like with school this week, not even like soccer, like with life. And so it's definitely helped. Um, like my time, obviously, like I have, like I'm investing time every week, but it's time I actually enjoy giving because it's where I can actually drop value and help these guys out instead of, again, like picking up cones at the field and getting in my car sweaty from three private sessions in a row. So yeah, I mean it's been unreal to have that impact. And what's exciting is like I'm only a few months into it, you know. So I like there's bigger things ahead.
Yeah, that's sick. That's sick. I appreciate that this program is not for.
Um, whose program is not for?
Yeah, like who, if they're watching this right now, needs to steer clear.
Um, yeah, I mean, in the end, if you're not gonna commit to it, and if you're not the person, like the type of person that stays up, like wonder like how am I actually gonna figure this out? Like how can I like wake up early and just give my everything to this one dream I have? Like if you're not that type of person, um, it'd definitely be tougher. Um, again, everyone in this program is athletes, but not every athlete is ambitious and actually in the end wants to achieve what they say they want to achieve, you know? So I would say definitely steer clear if you're not like obsessed about putting in the work, and definitely steer clear if you think it's just going to be like a 1 week get rich thing, because um again, like me and the other coaches that are in this, like a lot of what we're talking about isn't just the get rich thing. I say a lot, like we're not talking about the get rich thing. We're talking about the actual process of it all. So as long as you're not those things, you should be set.
Yeah, sick. On the contrary, if you could speak to yourself, who obviously this program is for, right? What would you say to them at this moment in time right now, looking back with the perspective that you have?
Yeah, I mean, however many ways I could say, just do it and jump into it. Um, like you bring up a good point. A lot of it wasn't necessarily me thinking the program wouldn't work, but me thinking that for some reason those faces that I see online are fake and that I can't achieve the same thing that they achieved, you know? So no, honestly, like if I was talking to that person, I'd be like, it's just a game like you've been playing your whole life with sports. So it's like um it works if you work. And I've said that a few times. I think that's the main message here though. But yeah, I would just in any way possible try to like relieve the fact like look, if you actually commit to this for not like less than a year even, um, you know, you'll change your path honestly for like the next years of your life. So I think that would be convincing if I was talking to my old self.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you sharing that, dude. A couple more questions and we can wrap up here. I know we're a little over time. Um, why do you coach? This is a new question that I typically don't ask. Like, why do you coach?
Um, I mean, it's a different level when you have an impact over someone's progress. Like I talk about this, I talk about this a lot when talk to people that are thinking about joining my program. But it's like, it was cool when I was practicing and following these certain principles I learned and I saw progress in myself. But knowing that I had an impact over someone else to do that, um, for some crazy reason, I guess our brains work this way, is like that's even more of like a rush. So that's definitely the main thing in the end.
Yeah, it's sick. That's sick. And while we got the camera rolling, is there anything else that you want to say?
I mean, if I haven't said already, just you gotta take the jump. Um, I think it's normal to be pretty skeptical. I think that's why it's a good idea to not just like watch one video, but watch other people speaking, you know, and it's normal, but in the end, like I don't think a decision would ever be worth it if it was like a no-brainer, you know? And the reason it's a no-brainer is because again, you don't know if you'll be successful, but the formula's there. Like every person that's on the list of testimonies of sharing their wins and experiences with the program just committed to it. So it's obviously easier said than done, but it's normal to hesitate about it. But yeah, you need to commit to doing this for real.
Yeah, thank you, bro. And just so everybody knows that you're not AI and that this wasn't totally fake, like you thought all the stories were on my YouTube channel. Where can people find you?
My my soccer account is at training by Cushing, Cushing, training by Cushing, or the personal Chris Cushing, Christopher.Cushing. They can find it. But yeah, I'm pretty real. It'd be impressive. I mean, one day we'll be in danger of having hundreds of AI testimonies, but not this one at least.
Well, Chris, I appreciate you jumping on, dude. If you're a coach right now and you want to coach athletes online and you're not working with us already, what are you doing? Book in a call with us down below. But Chris, thanks for jumping on. I appreciate you,
Yes,
dude. Really,
sir.
really
Yes, sir.
appreciated you sharing your story.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right, y'all. Catch you in the next one.